So, step number 3, understanding your external environment. This was an exercise that I asked you to do the pre workshop exercise because I want you to take some time to observe your external environment. Watch your customers, observe your customers, think about your target customer, your ideal customer, and what their needs are. And why is this important? It's important because it helps you plan for the future. If you are observant to the changes that take place in the external environment, then you are more able to adapt to the changes taking place. Because sometimes they don't happen all of a sudden. Sometimes they slowly start to appear, and you can take notice and start to put things in place to mitigate those, to deal with those changes or take advantage of an opportunity that has become available now. So this is very important for planning, but is also something that you should constantly be doing. Always be aware of what's happening, how things are changing, because change will happen. It always happens. It's not just COVID. The longer you're in business, the more you'll realize that change constantly happens. Your customers change over time. Their interests change over time. Their behaviors change over time. The economy is constantly going up and down and up and down. So change happens, and you have to be able to adapt to it. So this is why you should constantly be observant of your external environment. It will help you understand how your customers buy. Do they buy directly from you face to face? Do they buy online? Do they buy from distributors? Do you resell to retail stores and they buy from retail stores? How do they buy from you? Okay, so that's what you need to understand. Number 2 is, why do they buy from you? Why do they pick you over someone else? What are the reasons that they buy from you? What are the reasons that they're buying this product? What benefits are they deriving from this product or service? What are they buying? Okay, which products are more popular than others? Which services are more popular than others? What are the benefits that they are expecting to derive from this product or service? Because ultimately, that's what they're buying. They're not buying just a product. They're buying what they're expected to get out of it. It could be convenience. It could be efficiency. It could be better health. It could be vitality. It could be getting thinner. It could be better hair. It could be either better respiratory system. There's all kinds of things. I'm mentioning a lot of health things because I have a lot of customers that have health food businesses. So I mentioned that a lot. Also, you want to know when the customer buys. Okay, when do they buy? Is there certain life changes that take place? Is that the reason why they buy? Is it because they're, a cafe and they're driving by and they pass your place at a certain time and they buy, or they buy on certain days because they have a busier schedule on certain days. Now, I don't expect you to know in detail, but in general, are they come in once and you never see them again? Are they bulk buyers? They come in, they buy in a lot, and then you don't see them for 3 or 4 months. Are they, they come in once a week, they come in once a month, they come in multiple times a week. So you want to know the frequency of their buying. So you have to have a better understanding of your customers, understanding your current customer base. Who is your current customer? What is the age range, the gender, the race, the social class, the interest? What are the psychographics that are around their decision making? Are they interested in fitness? Are they interested in health? Are they getting older? Are they interested in keeping their family healthy? All these different, what is it that makes up your current customer base? You have to know your current customers before you can even start to considering new customers. Who is your current customer? And then you can start to look at, well, I also want to add this other group. I want to target this new group, and that's okay. But you need to know who your current customers are first before you start to target another group. Understanding how customers make decisions. Again, I'm going to give some health-related examples. I mean, is it because they're looking at certain health benefits? Is it because they like a certain size? The convenience of it, where they're buying it is more convenient than another location. Is it that you deliver faster than anybody else? Is it that your customer service is better than anybody else? Your knowledgeable staff is better than anybody else? Or they really love your videos or your blogs? There's lots of reasons as to, how customers make decisions. And you need to understand why and how your customers make those decisions. Identify your most valuable customer. Some people call this your ideal customer profile. Who is your ideal customer profile? And again, looking at demographics, age, interest, who are they and how can you get more of them? What are their needs? If you understand their needs, then you have a better way to offer them the right products and services, say it in the way that they want, so that you're going to attract more of your ideal customer. And then understanding your competition. Of course, there's lots of choices in food. Yes, they have to eat, but they have lots of different places they can go for food. So why do they pick your place over another place? And what goes into that. So we'll talk about that even more. The next slide. This next chart is a great chart because it has the target market in the middle. The target market is your customer. You always have to keep your eye on the target. Okay? Keep your eye on the target, that target market, that target customer. What is it that they need? And how are these external environments impacting them? Some of these external environments are describing them, but there are changes that are taking place. Is your target market getting older? Are they hitting different lifestyle changes? Are they starting to have families now? Are they mostly women? Is anything happening in that demographic that could impact your business? Social change is a great example because with the pandemic, we've seen a lot of people focus more on family and less on doing travel and doing extracurricular events in the outside world. They're more focused internally. They're focused on developing themselves, helping their family, working on their health. It's a lot of focus internally and investing internally. Sometimes it's education, sometimes it's health, family. That's what their focus is. It's not all this busy stuff, the experience of travel and all this other stuff. It's a different focus now. And I think it will be that way for some time. Economic conditions. Of course, we will always see ups and downs in the market. We always will. But keep in mind, just because the stock market is down or the GDP is down, doesn't mean it's a down market for your business. Some industries are adverse to what's happening with GDP. The education industry is an example. When the economy is low, people shift and they invest in education. They invest in themselves. Okay? They can't invest in the stock market because it's doing too many floopy things, but they'd invest in themselves. They invest in their health. They'll invest in their family. They might invest in the home. So keep in mind that it might not be a downturn for you. You have to look at the opportunities that are available and make the best decisions for your business. Political and legal factors. When it comes to legal factors, I will say that when we're dealing with food, you have the FDA and USDA, state health departments and county health departments. So you are dealing with some legal factors, and so you have to make sure that you are compliant with those legal factors. If you're starting to if you're thinking about producing a product that you're going to sell across county lines and especially across state lines, you are going to be dealing with the FDA and USDA. So you want to be aware of their requirements. Please contact me and I can help guide you through that because it's a bit tricky. Technology. What a great area. It's always changing, always will be. It's a huge area, great opportunity, but yes, it can be frustrating because it's hard to keep up with all the changes. And technology gets out of date and things change and expectations of your target market might change. Or maybe you have to look at a new target market. For example, in Natural Zing, we have a very loyal customer base, and they've been with us for a long time. We've been in business over 17 years. Many of our customers have been with us for 10 years or more, and they stay with us. They're very loyal. But now they started with us when they had young families, and now they're baby boomers and Gen Xers. These kids are now off to college and off to high school or moving out of the house, starting families of their own. And so they have different life changes going on. They're not dealing with the same life events. So you have to deal with that change. And I know I'm talking about technology. So now Natural Zing has to realize that they have to focus on the Gen Y and the Gen Z. Well, we want to keep our loyal customers. I'm not saying we don't, but we realize these Gen Ys now, they have young families. And so they have needs, and they would be perfect customers for us as they're focused on health. But their expectations of technology are different than our customers that are baby boomers and Gen Zs. I'm sorry, not Gen Zs, Gen X's, the older population. I'm a Gen X. So their expectations of technology are different than the younger generation. And so Natural Zing has to invest in technology. In fact, when the pandemic hit, I quickly shifted gears and I put all of my energy in a project that was taking too long. But I put all my energy into relaunching our consumer website and launching our wholesale website because I knew we had to invest in technology. Everybody was going online. I had to get everything online and had to be up to the expectations of the customer base. And we were trying to pull in more Gen Ys, and so it had to meet their expectations. So we needed a new look. We needed new technology. Businesses needed to start shopping online at Natural Zing because their buyers at the natural food stores were getting younger, and they were expecting technology, and they didn't want to just pick up the phone. Some of our wholesale customers still prefer to pick up the phone, but we had to be able to meet the needs of both demographics. So competition. Competition is great, and you need to examine competition as to what they're doing well and what they're doing not so well. You can look when they're doing something not so well and say, oh, I see what they did and I'm not going to do that. Or you can watch somebody who's doing something well and say, wow, they really did a great job. There were 2 restaurants in the same town, and one of the restaurants put in a drive-through during COVID, and the other one did not. Now, if that other restaurant had looked at the restaurant that put in the drive-through and who tripled their business, they would say, oh, we should put a drive-in also. And if they would, then their business, then they wouldn't been out of business. They would have, continued to grow. But because they didn't watch what their competitors were doing and follow suit in what was working, they didn't benefit. and they went out of business. So watch what your competition's doing. Take the good ideas, get rid of the bad ideas, or don't do them. But it's good to see what the competition is up to. So exercise number 3, again, I hope you have now downloaded your exercise sheet. If you haven't, please do so now. And we are going to go through this together. So, number 1, your customers. Who are they? What motivates them? And what are their unmet needs? What is an opportunity you might fulfill for them? Okay, so again, you have observed, that's why I wanted you to observe your customers before we got to this part in the workshop, so that you would be aware of what motivates them. What are their unmet needs? Because if they're unmet, then you can meet them. You can add a product or service that meets their needs in that area. You're also going to look at the market. What is the overall size of your market? What is the projected growth over time? If it's stagnant or going down, this you might want to add to your target market, to add another group to it. Expand regionally, expand demographically, gender, age, whatever it happens to be, you might need to expand. But you need to understand what the projected growth is. And what is the distribution system? And is it optimized? Meaning, how are you getting your product out there? Natural Zing early on decided to expand its distribution channels. First, we first started with our consumer website, and we've had that, again, it's close to 18 years now. So our consumer website, we sell directly to consumer. But it wasn't long until we had stores calling us and saying, hey, we'd love to sell your products. Can you, do you sell wholesale? I mean, what a wonderful thing for stores calling us. So we started saying, oh, yes, okay, we can sell you. So then we started selling to another channel. We started selling to natural food stores. And then they were selling direct to consumers, not us. So we were selling through a channel. And then another group came to us and they said, hey, I love your website, but I want to create a website that sells these types of products, but I don't want to have to hold the inventory. Can I resell your products? Can you drop ship for me? And we said yes. So that's when our drop ship service started. So they sell directly to consumers. We ship it out as if we're them. What else do we have? Oh, we sell directly to food manufacturers. So food manufacturers, they put it in their food and they package it up, and they, then they sell it as it packaged in a different product. Or we sell to cafes. So they put it in it's part of their ingredients. They put it in their dishes and they sell it at their cafes and their restaurants. So these are all the different distribution channels that Natural Zing utilizes. But what about for your foods, for your products? Look at your distribution channel. Can it be optimized? Is there another way you can get the product out? Is there another distribution channel? Because this enables you to weather the storms. Okay, if one area things go crazy, one of your other areas might pick up. For example, during the pandemic, a number of our cafes that we sold to, their sales went way down. In some cases, they went out of business. However, our natural food stores were selling more than ever. So we ended up going down in sales with cafes, but fortunately, our natural food store sales more than picked up. Also, we were selling more online than ever. So we're selling more to consumers than we had in the previous months. So people were consumers were buying more directly from Natural Zing, and natural food stores were buying more. So the more distribution channels you have might help you weather these storms. Okay, change. What changes could take place that could negatively or positively impact your business? What can you build in or put in place so that you're more agile and can weather the storm? Just like my example of selling through the different distribution channels, that enables us to weather the storm more easily. And we continue to look for ways where we can provide additional services or products so that if one area of the business is hit due to external factors, then another area will take up the slack and be able to keep the business going, keep enough profit so that we can keep everything going if one area goes down and is hit by a sudden change. Maybe it's a supply issue, maybe it's a regulation issue, maybe it's something happening with the economy or something crazy with technology. So anything can happen, as we learned in 2020. But if you put certain things in place, so what can you put in place that will help you adjust to change? So I want you to also look at the rest of your chart. I will go through each one, and certainly as I'm discussing each one, you can pause and work on it before we go on to the next one. So if you're looking at your worksheet, hopefully you've printed it off by now. You are going to have, you're going to look for opportunities and threats. And the first area you're going to look at is your consumer social. Okay, what opportunities and threats do you have there? Social change we're talking about there. The next is demographic. What are some opportunities and demographics? Let me back up. A good example of social change is that more people are eating plant-based diets. And so if you're a natural food business and predominantly selling plant-based foods, the fact that the demographics are going up, meaning more people are eating plant-based foods, more people are eating doing more like a flexitarian and incorporating plant-based foods in their diet, then that's an opportunity. And how can you reach the flexitarians? How can you reach this growing demographic? But it's an opportunity that it's growing. Competitive, you're going to look at your competition. Again, look at the strengths and weaknesses. Is there a weakness there? Is there some way where you are stronger than your competition? Technology. What are your opportunities with technology? What new technologies have come out that will enable you to reach your customers more easily, to target them more easily, to serve them more easily, whether it's online ordering, social media to reach them better, having a Instagram influencer that promotes your products and services. So there's all different, what is it with technology that's an opportunity for you? What are some of the threats with technology that could impact your business? And the economy. Again, I talked about this is opportunity and there's threats. But it doesn't necessarily mean that if the economy is down, that your sales are going to be down. Okay, so you have to look at the opportunities that are available to you and determine the right thing that meets, that's going to give you the right opportunity. So what opportunities and what threats can you foresee? Legal, regulatory, political. So what could happen with regulations that could impact your business? from a legal perspective, what could impact your business. When you're in the food business, you have to be very aware of what's going on with, the state level and local level with health departments. You have to understand what's happening with the FDA, the USDA, and there's lots of politics there, and how are they changing the rules and regulations, and how does that impact you, especially if you're dealing with supplements. So be aware of that, and how could that be an impact to your business. Okay, so I want you to take time to finish this, and I'll see you in the next section.